Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rickie and I am a full-time competitive ballroom dancer. So for today's video, I have this makeup tutorial for all of you, and this is geared a little bit more towards beginners if you're just getting started with doing makeup for dance competitions. The great thing about this is that every single product I use in this video is from the drugstore and is affordable, so that is awesome. This video is in collaboration with a Waltz Tango Foxtrot. They reached out to me and thought it would be a cool idea to do a drugstore and affordable makeup tutorial for all you collegiate dancers out there. And if you don't know what Waltz Tango Foxtrot is, they are an online dance magazine run by collegiate dancers for collegiate dancers. They do lots of articles on all sorts of stuff about our dance sport community here in the States, so I will link their Facebook and their website down below. Now getting straight into this drugstore competition makeup tutorial, I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so let's get into this video. So the first thing that we're going to do is our Scotch tape. I'm gonna put all the prices of the products that I'm using probably right here, just for reference throughout the video. This is the CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow Micro Fine and Define Pencil Crayon in the shade Soft Brown. Now we're gonna start on the eyelids. Now before we get to the eyeshadow palette, we need to prime our lids. While I was in Ulta, I saw the ColourPop stand and I was so excited because I've been wanting to try their no filter concealer since it came out last year. So I just grabbed it and I thought it would be a good thing to try out for this video. I'm just gonna put, I don't know how pigmented this is, so I'm just going to put not so much. I'm using my Real Technique sponge to blend that in. Right, first impressions, it doesn't look too bad. The only thing that worries me is it is kind of clinging to my dry spots. I do have dry eyelids. So I'm gonna go over with the LA Girl Pro Conceal. I have no idea if this is gonna help. I have used this many times in the past to prime my lids and I never had a problem. I'm gonna go in with my Morphe JH08 brush. This is a really great brush for blending out any concealers or foundations in a smaller area. And then quickly going in to set that, I'm just gonna use this same exact brush that I just used. I'm going with my Maybelline Fit Me powder, just to set it before it creases, because this concealer will crease, so you do have to set it. Alright, we are ready to get started. This is called the Love in London palette by BH Cosmetics. So this is what the actual palette looks like. Love in London, very cute packaging on the inside. And there is a huge mirror in this actually, so that's awesome. And I'm not gonna blend you guys with this. This is the palette itself. The first shade we're going to be dipping into is going to be the shade Scone, looks like this. And I'm taking this on a Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH30 brush. Just a huge blending brush, really good to put a shade all over your eye and in the crease. Alright, now that we have that all over in the crease, blended from outer to inner corner, pretty much just blown out. Now I'm going to mix two shades together, kind of to make this process a little bit quicker. I'm going to go in with the shades Big Ben and Cheers. Same brush, same exact place as I placed the first shadow. Okay, now you guys, those two shades are blended in. It looks like this. Super easy basic brown crease using one brush. Alright, now we're going to go in with a slightly smaller blending brush. This is the Morphe M441 brush, and we are going to be using the shade called Lovely. As you can see, it's basically just a little bit darker than the first three shades we use and a little bit warmer. And we're not going to take this and blow it up quite as high as I did with the earlier shades. We're going to keep it more in the middle crease. As you can see, this eye compared to this eye is a lot deeper already. Alright, now our eyes are looking something like this. Keeping in the same direction as before, I'm going to take an even smaller blending brush. This is the Morphe M433 brush, and we're going to be going into the shade Piccadilly. Now we're going to keep this not in the middle part of our crease, but a little bit lower. Don't worry, we're going to be cutting the crease after this, so if it's messy, don't worry. Just we're keeping it a little bit lower than all the previous shades we've used. Alright, now we are ready to cut our crease because we're going to add a lighter shade on the eyelids. Okay, I'm going to be going in with the same concealer that we used to prep our eyes before we did any eyeshadow, the LA Girl Pro Conceal, and I'm going to be using a e.l.f. smudge brush. Put some concealer, that's a lot, and take your smudge brush, and you want to make sure you don't want to just coat like half of the brush. You want to take this part of the brush and dip it in the concealer like that, so you have product all over each side of the brush. And I'm going to start in the inner part of my eye, cutting the crease all the way until the end, very slowly but surely creating a nice shape for the brighter shades to go down on. Now our full crease, as you can see, is cut, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just remember to go slow and steady. Start with a little bit and then build it. Alright, so after carving out the crease all the way to the very end, I realized I didn't like how that looked, and I made the mistake of taking it up a little bit too high on the end instead of coming down. So basically what I did, I just took the pointer end of my beauty sponge and I kind of blended out the concealer on the end and went back in with my Morphe M433 and just very lightly kind of blended the dark outer shadow into the concealer so it's not such a harsh difference. So now I'm going to be taking the shade Cheeky, which is this first shade in the palette, and I'm going to be taking that on a Morphe JH41 brush, and I'm going to focus on the inner corner going to about the middle of my eye. I'm gonna take my pinky just because, haha, I got rid of my nails, so I can actually do this now. I'm gonna take my pinky and I'm gonna swatch it kind of like this because I know shadows can be more reflective this way. Alright, and once I get to about the halfway point, I went a little bit past the halfway point, but once you get about halfway, you're going to want to stop. I mean, you could take all the way, but I'm going to do something different. So we're just going to do the exact same thing on the other eye. Now, after you have both eyes done with a very light shade, wipe off your brush, and now I'm going to go in with the shade Biscuit right here. This is also another super metallic shade. Going in with the same brush. I'm going to do the same process, but I'm going to start on the most outer part of my eye and slowly kind of blend it in to the very bright shade. And first I'm going to go with my pinky again, just make sure it's clean and kind of blend the two together a little bit. I'm going to go in with the same brush that we did to put that original dark shade Piccadilly, and we're going to go in with just a tiny bit, and we're just going to blend that shimmery shade Biscuit in together in the outside corner to make it a little bit more cohesive. Okay, now is time for the eyeliner, and if you watch any of my regular videos, you know that I always use my Kat Von D tattoo liner or my Inglot black gel liner. Those two are my favorite liners to use, not only on myself but also on clients. But since neither of those are drugstore, this is the Maybelline New York Lasting Drama Gel Eyeliner that is apparently intense color, smudge proof, and waterproof as long as 24-hour wear. Now, I don't know if it lives up to all of that, but I have heard good things about this, so that is what I picked up today. This is the e.l.f. small angled brush, and I'm going to be using that and the Maybelline gel to do just a simple cat eyeliner, nothing major. Okay, now the eyeliner is on. It is time to take off the tape, which is one of my favorite parts, so let's see what happens. I picked up these eyelashes at CVS Pharmacy the other day. They are the Ardell Double Up. They look like this. Before we pop these on, you're just going to want to add a little bit of mascara. My two absolute favorite drugstore mascaras are the L'Oreal Paris Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara or the L'Oreal Paris Voluminous Lash Paradise. This is what I use on an everyday basis. This is usually what I use underneath my competition lashes. So we're going to go in with this one today. Just do a quick coat and then apply your lashes on top. So now it is time to move on to our face, and I'm pretty sure every single person here who is watching probably already has a pretty good idea how to do their own face makeup. But for me, I just want to talk about the products that I'm using and why I would recommend them to you, being drugstore products, and move through the rest of the process. So let's get started. So for foundation, I have two options for you guys. The first foundation that I use that has been my more recent foundation is the Wet n Wild Focus Foundation. It looks like this. I have two shades. This is obviously my darker shade for competition, and this is my everyday shade. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be mixing them together. Also, I have the Maybelline Fit Me foundations. These have been a staple in my kit for years. They come in a few different finishes. They come in a dewy and smooth and in a matte and poreless, so whatever your skin type is, they have two formulas to pick from. So if you have dry, you would always go with the dewy and smooth. If you are more oily, you would want to go with the matte and poreless. But both foundations overall are very good foundations from the drugstore that I would recommend for competitions. But today we are using the Wet n Wild. So the first is the lighter shade. This is the shade Nude Ivory, and I'm going to be taking this. It comes like with its own application. I'm going to be taking this on the lighter areas of my face. And with the darker shade, it's the shade Bronze Beige. I'm going to be taking that on the outer more portions of my face. And now we are just going to get to blending. Okay, now the foundation is all blended in, and I'm going to go in for a second try with the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. Hopefully we have a better result this time. Okay, now we move on to bronzer. The NYC Smooth Skin Parfait Bronzing Face Powder. It looks like this. Going in with my favorite bronzer brush. This is the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill JH02 brush. I'm just going to do very lightly a few taps to bronze up the skin. Now we're going to go to blush. I'm going to be using the BH Cosmetics Blushing in Bali 6-color brush and highlighter palette. Now when you open it up, you have a very big mirror, which is helpful when you're traveling. and it has 3 blushes and 3 highlights. Obviously, these highlights are light, medium, and dark, so depending on your skin tone and how tan you are for the competition, you will be able to find any one that's going to work for your skin tone. I'm going with my Morphe JH06 brush, and I think I'm going to take the middle shade, which is the shade Coral. Okay, now going in with the highlighter. So taking the shade Sunkissed on my Morphe R12. Okay, now we are finally ready to finish off the eyes by doing the lower lash line. First step is to waterline, so I'm going to take the same gel eyeliner as I did my top eyeliner and my tight lining with, and the same e.l.f. brush, $3, and I'm going to waterline very quickly. Okay, all done with the eyeliner. I'm going to be taking my Morphe E18 brush. It looks like this. It's a very small detail brush. I'm going to go in with that shade Piccadilly. Alright, very last but not least, for the eyeshadow portion, we're going to go back in with the first shade in the palette, Cheeky. And I'm taking this on a Jaclyn Hill JH42 brush, and I'm just going to brighten up my inner corners to make sure that there's a lot of tension on the inner corner and it gets darker and smoky as we go out. Alright you guys, and the very last step in this makeup tutorial is your choice of lipstick. The color I'm going in with today is going to be the Maybelline Power Matte Lipstick, shade Cruel Ruby, and it looks like this. Before I go in with my lipstick, I'm going to go in with a lip liner so I don't make any mistakes, and this is the NYX lip liner in the shade Rouge Flamboyant. It's just a regular red lip liner. Alright you guys, this is the completed look. We have a very dark red lip and dramatic yet simple eyes that I think everybody can achieve just with a little bit of practice. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you guys would like to see next from me down below in the comments, whether it's makeup tutorials or other style videos. I'm always open to hearing your guys' suggestions. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!